Hey guys, we're the Triple Option, and we're back with our week by week predictions. We're starting with week one of the regular season, and I hope you enjoy.
As you can see on the side, we have lock of the week, upset of the week, game of the week, and team to watch. I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory. So for like lock of the week, this is like the team that we think is gonna like get the straightforward win, like they're expected to win, and we think they're gonna win. Upset of the week is the underdog that we think is gonna pull off a upset and beat like the heavily favorite team.
Game of the week is the game that we think is going to be the most exciting, most ticket revenue, and very fun to watch. And I think that leads us to the team to watch, which is the team that has had the most offseason potential and can actually bring out more fans every game. And it's a team that we expect to have a bright future ahead.
All right, so our first game of the week, not game of the week, our first game is the Texans at the Chiefs, which is our kickoff for the season. I'm going to keep this really short. I'm not going against the defending champs. I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an obvious pick here. You can't go with anyone but the Chiefs here, so I'm also gonna go with the Chiefs.
Same. I'm also going with the Chiefs this week. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes or any of the Chiefs. They're defending champs for a reason.
Yeah, so clearly we're all in favor of the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions. Now, this game, Seahawks and Falcons, two very different teams. We don't know what Jadeveon Clowney is going to be doing if he's going back to Seattle. We saw Todd Gurley added to the Falcons, and for that signing of the Falcons, Todd Gurley, I'm going to go with the Falcons with this one. I just don't think Seattle can stop the run game.
I don't know about that. I mean, Seattle finds a way every single. Really won't find that much like all pro caliber talent. Like they obviously have Bobby Wagner, that Clowney last year, but like they always find a way to like win games. Sometimes it's lucky, sometimes it's not. Seahawks, you don't bet against Russell Wilson. He's top three QB. He's DK Metcalf coming off that great rookie season. He also has Lockett. They actually signed Philip Dorsett, which I think it's an interesting signing. I think he'll fit well in the scheme. So I think I got the Seahawks in this one.
Exactly. You can't expect me to sit here and believe you're betting against Russell Wilson. I mean, he was the top two MVP candidate, and I think you're betting on Todd Gurley, but like, what has he done in the past year? He's been injured. He's been like garbage last season. I don't even know what the Falcons are planning on using him for. I mean, obviously he was good before, but then after his injury, he just became garbage.
Exactly. I mean,
That's
these
why
are
I got
running
the
backs. Running backs don't really.
Okay, but
Running back
hear
is
me
like
out,
the
hear me
least
out, hear me out,
important
hear me
position.
out, hear me out. Todd Gurley, 2 years ago, was the best running back in the NFL. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
but that
Hands
two
was
down.
2
years
years
Hands
ago.
ago.
down.
That was the point.
Hands
That's the
down.
point.
Now, why do we think that one injury will change this guy when he's been dealing with injuries throughout his career, from college to now? He's been injured, and he's always shown us he can bounce back. I don't see why
Because
you're ruling him out right away. It's a
He's a
one
running
year.
back. I mean, like that's
because
like the most wear and tear. Like those guys go through so much wear and tear. Like this guy, he's not.
Okay, fine. We'll switch from the running back. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, two very good wide receivers. Matt Ryan, very good quarterback. Defense, Grady Jarrett, good defensive tackle. Keanu Neal in the secondary. This is a well-built team. This is a
Keanu
team.
Neal towards ACL, right? Is he even going to be healthy for Week 1?
Keanu Neal looks great. Okay, he's been looking good in his recovery. I saw him today on an NFL Network show. He's doing great right now, and I just don't think it's fair to rule against the Falcons. This is one of my underdog teams of the season. I think the Falcons in a division with the Bucs and Saints can be really good.
this is blasphemous, bro. What do you mean? Todd Gurley, the reason we're counting him out is because we saw him
Okay, no,
after
no,
he
no, no,
came
no.
back
Let's talk
from
about running back.
injury.
There's no name the Seahawks running back.
Chris Carson,
Bro,
he's so
Name
good.
the
He's
Seahawks
Chris
running back.
Carson, yeah.
Chris Carson.
Rashad Penny. What are you talking about? They had a great rushing attack last
Rashad
year.
Penny got injured.
Dude, they had the number one rushing offense last
Okay,
year.
actually, you know what? Let's switch this up. Name three players on Seattle's defense that are Pro Bowlers. Let's do that.
Wagner,
Because I can name three on
Clowney if he
Falcons offense.
returns.
Clowney if he returns. That's a big if. Let's go. Give me two more. You said Wagner. I
Wagner,
want two more.
Clowney.
And exactly.
Okay, but like, when's the
Okay.
last time they've had 3 players? I mean, 3 Pro Bowlers. Like last year, did they have 3?
I see the Falcons have Matt Ryan, Pro Bowler,
Mhm.
Julio Jones, Pro Bowler, Todd Gurley, Pro Bowler.
Todd Gurley's a running back. I mean, come on, he's completely out of the equation. And they had the same team last year. So you're
Okay, no, ignoring the running back. Okay, think about this. The Seahawks have Shaquille Griffin.
Mhm.
He has to guard Julio Jones. Who's their other corner? We don't know. You don't know because there is no other corner. Shaquille Griffin is the name corner of the Seattle Seahawks. I do not know who's going to guard Calvin Ridley when Shaquille Griffin's on Julio Jones. Yes, they have Quandre Diggs.
They got Quinton Dunbar from the Cowboys.
Quinton Dunbar. I just don't think this defense.
They have Trey Flowers.
I just don't think this defense can sustain itself against the Falcons' offense.
See, the problem is that applies the other way around. This is Russell Wilson we're talking about. No one can stop him.
Exactly.
He should have won. If it wasn't for Lamar last year, he would have won MVP. Right? I mean, who the Falcons have? It's Grady Jarrett.
We agree to disagree. Speaking of Lamar, the Browns at Ravens is our next game. For me, like you said, Lamar Jackson, MVP. I'm not going to go against him. I'm going to pick the Ravens in this one.
I'm also going to go with the Ravens, but I think this game's going to be pretty close. I feel like the Browns are going to do good under Kevin Stefanski, but the Ravens, they have too much star power.
No, they won't. They suck. The Browns are going to suck again. I'm telling you right now. 4-12. 4-12.
I like that. I like Stefanski, especially that 2 tight end seat.
Odell Beckham will be traded week 7. Browns. Jarvis Landry is going to retire mid-season. In fact, mid-game, he'll retire at halftime, and it's over for the Cleveland Browns.
He's not Vontae Davis, bro.
No, he'll do that. Kareem Hunt, running back, get himself in more trouble. Nick Chubb won't be able to sustain himself when he has to run 40 times a game because Baker Mayfield can't complete a pass 10 yards down the field.
But the offensive system's like too good. Like that 2 tight end set, they have Hooper and
Hooper.
Yeah.
You paid a tight end $13 million when George Kittle gets paid $1 million a year. Give me a break. He's not worth the money. It was a bad
He's
signing.
not worth the money. Like that's a completely different topic. But like he's still really good.
He's a good player.
Yeah. So if you
guess who made him look good? Matt Ryan. And I rest my case.
Okay, think about this. Okay, I still think the Ravens are going to win, but like the Browns, they have to be optimistic. Think about this. You have that offensive line. It's been improved. They added Jack Conklin as well. Now you have Odell and Jarvis.
Okay, you know who are you going to pick, Sujo? Who do you want to pick?
I picked the Ravens. All right.
You're going to pick the Ravens. Okay. Anish?
I'm picking the Ravens too. They just have too much star power. But I'm going to have to go on the side of Sujal's a little bit. I think that the Browns will keep it close. I think that Baker, Odell, Jarvis, and the offensive line, they have something to prove this season. They didn't live up to expectations last year, and I think they're going to come back for...
The reason I can't just say that for the Browns is because I just don't see enough defensive pieces to make a run in this division. I see Denzel Ward. I see Myles Garrett. But other than that, I just don't see much.
Greedy Williams,
developing corner, 22 years old, very young.
Denzel Ward.
I said Denzel Ward.
Oh,
but
okay.
You know the one team.
Sheldon Richardson.
The one team I think you guys are not thinking about is, okay, in this new playoff set, hypothetically, 4 teams in the same division can make it to the playoffs because there are 7 teams, 3 wild card. 3 of them can be from the same division. That won't happen, but I think it's unfair to rule out another division opponent of the Ravens, which I will talk about later. But this Cleveland Browns team will not be able to sustain itself against the Ravens week 1.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Okay, now another playoff team we see last year, another division winner, the Bills, Jets at Bills. I think this is very obviously my lock of the week. I don't see any way that Josh Allen loses to Sam Darnold in this one. This Jets defense is improved. They have C.J. Mosley. They're getting healthier. It's a good defense, but this Bills offense, Stephon Diggs, simply I cannot go against Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And I know they have up-and-coming running back in Devin Singletary. I'm not going to go against the Bills in this one. That's why this is my lock of the week.
I have to agree with you. The Jets have like absolutely no one on their team. They have like the worst pass catching and tight end group in the NFL, arguably. And Darnold, he won't be able to do much with that help. But I do what you said about Josh Allen. Josh Allen sucks, right? Like, come on, there's no way.
That's not fair.
Whoa.
3 years.
He's good.
He's good. He's third year. He'll be amazing.
Okay, so like his patented quality, that's his arm. He has like the best arm. He had the best arm in his class. And guess who's the PFF released an article. Guess who their worst deep ball thrower was? Josh Allen.
What about punters?
Cody Kess was pathetic last year. He still had John Brown, Cole Beasley. Obviously, yeah, Stephon Diggs, but like it's not like he still had some.
Wait, no. Who? You tell me. What is one of the most crazy deep throw plays in NFL history that happened in the divisional round of the 2018 NFL playoffs? Who's that wide receiver? I think you know exactly what play I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one where Marcus Williams missed a tackle and like
Minneapolis Miracle. Who was that receiver?
Catch the ball.
Who was that receiver? Who got open?
Who got open? Come on, he just ran a post. He just ran a post.
Josh Allen.
I could have cut.
You ran a post.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Stephon Diggs, but like that was all Marcus Williams.
Okay. What
Josh Allen can't make that throw.
I got the Bills in this one. This is an interesting one for me. The Bills are my team to watch this season. I think they're going to come back with something to prove from last season after losing in the playoffs. And I think Josh Allen should have won that game. He played really well. And I think he's going to play really well in the future. And I think the Bills have a great future ahead with Stephon Diggs, John Brown, Cole Beasley, Ed Oliver, Micah Hyde, and all these players. I think this team is something that the NFL should watch out for, and they're going to take storm in future years.
So we all agree, Bills.
Yeah.
A little bit of disagreement, but we all agree, Bills. Okay, moving on. Next game, another morning game. We have the Raiders heading to Carolina. Christian McCaffrey. That's my pick.
I gotta agree with you, Christian McCaffrey, and you're sleeping on. They have two really good wideouts: DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I feel Teddy Bridgewater's going to succeed.
And Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel as well. That's a good number 3 option. The Raiders defense can't stop them. Easy win.
I'm going Raiders on this one. I think the Raiders. You cannot sit here.
No, come on.
You cannot sit here and tell me. No, you cannot sit here and tell me that Teddy Bridgewater will live up to what he did in New Orleans. I mean, you're looking at Teddy Bridgewater as the guy who had Michael Thomas, the guy who had Taysom Hill, the guy who had Alvin Kamara.
Hold on. Taysom Hill isn't some Julio Jones or DeAndre Hopkins.
Not Taysom Hill, but you're looking at someone who had Michael Thomas as their number 1 wideout. Now you downgrade him to Robbie Anderson. I mean,
yeah, but now he has Christian McCaffrey who can also catch the ball, and DJ Moore.
Wait, no. That's a good. No, he wants to argue that there's one wide receiver, Michael Thomas in New Orleans. This team has 3. Like, I don't know why.
DJ Moore, he had 1,000 yards last year.
Straight
Robbie Anderson,
in numbers.
Good. Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay, so obviously, 2 of us chose the Panthers. That's our majority pick. Anish, I don't know what you're thinking. Let's move on to the Bears.
No, I'm saying, look at the Raiders. I mean, you have Derek Carr, and then
Derek Carr.
Okay, wait. You saw what he did in a couple years ago when he had the wide receivers. When he had
a couple years ago when he didn't break his ankle. Yeah.
Wait, no.
He had Amari Cooper, and now you're giving him Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller.
Henry Ruggs was a number 3 wide receiver on Alabama. He had Judy as well.
You said to me that injuries don't matter for the Falcons, for Todd Gurley. So why is it different for Derek Carr? Quarterback injuries are much harder to recover from.
No, I'm not saying Todd Gurley won't live up. I'm saying he's not going to live up to what he was before, and I'm saying Derek Carr won't do the same.
Derek Carr has never played in a playoff game.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs and Tyrell Williams aren't exactly Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper.
I agree.
They're better than DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson.
No way.
He's going to be and he's just going to keep talking.
Come on.
He doesn't know anything. Let's go on to the Bears and Lions. For me, defense wins championships. They're not going to win the championship, but I think they can beat the Lions. But I really do believe this Lions team will get better as the season goes on because of DeAndre Swift.
I'm going with the Lions here. Stafford is, in my opinion, the most underrated quarterback in the NFL, and you have Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay. add in DeAndre Swift. He's a top 3 running back, top 2. Many scouts had him as their number 1 running back, and you also have Kerryon Johnson coming back from last year. That offense is going to be good this year. Also add in tight end T.J. Hawkinson. I think he's going to have a good year, so I'm going with the Lions here.
I'm going with the Bears on this one. I think, as AJ said, defense wins championships, and now you bring in a guy like Robert. I forgot his last name.
Robert Quinn.
Yeah, Robert Quinn. You bring in a guy, Robert Quinn, who can really
Sucks.
Exactly.
Whoa. He had
Overpaid.
10+ sacks last season.
His sacks are useless, all right? Shaquille Barrett had 19.5 sacks. Is he really that good? No, he's not.
Well, I mean, based on the stats, he's a pretty good player. And lining up alongside Mac, I don't see anybody stopping that Bears. They can get pressure. They can get pressure by just rushing 3. I mean, that's like something
Rushing
unheard
3?
of. I mean,
are you kidding me?
There's 5 people on the offensive line, but that means like that's two double teams.
I know,
No,
but like,
not even that. No, let's change this. I think Robert Quinn can't take a good double team. I'm gonna put him on 1-on-1. Let's put Akeem Hicks 1-on-1. He can get taken by Frank Ragnow. Khalil Mack. Let's triple team him. There's nothing. You can't rush 3. I don't know what you're saying. That's not a thing. Rushing 4, I can give you that, but I'm not gonna let you say that this Bears team is good enough to rush 3 people and get to the quarterback. That's just simply not how it is. And in any case, they don't have the secondary to sustain it, to keep the coverage long enough for 3 people to get to the quarterback. It's just not there. Their secondary sucks this year. This Lions team, I definitely think, has a chance of winning this game. I'm gonna go with the Bears because I don't want to go with the Lions right away, but I'm telling you, if these 2 teams meet again later in the season, this Lions team will destroy this Bears team.
I think you're counting out the Bears secondary. I mean, you had Eddie Jackson, who was an NFL leader in defensive touchdowns 2 years ago, and I know you can't.
No, 2 years ago.
But I know you can't count the pass, but I'm just saying you're counting them out because this is the same team that was there 2 years ago, but they were injury riddled last year.
Okay, then you can have the same argument for the Jaguars. Remember the 2017 Jaguars and their defense? That defense was.
Oh, that defense is gone now. To be honest.
Okay, no, you could have said that they could have run it back. Like they had.
2 years gone.
Okay, yeah, but last year they still had most of that team. They still had Cam. They had Ramsey.
Oh yeah, most. No, actually, no, they did have most of the team halfway through the season.
Yeah, and they didn't run it back. I mean, like. That's 2 years ago. Like, a lot changes in 2 years.
Actually, you know what? Let's move on. Speaking of the Jaguars, Colts at Jaguars, our next game. Phillip Rivers, a big offseason addition. DeForest Buckner, another offseason addition. It's too hard for me to say Jaguars, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I got to agree. Jaguars don't really have that much talent. The Colts, they added Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. 2 explosive offensive weapons. I think that the running attack is really going to be good. They have 2 capable rushers in Mack and Taylor, and I think this can be a blowout.
I'm going Colts too. This is my lock of the week. I don't see them losing to the Jaguars, and I think, as Sujal said, Pittman is the guy. He's like their franchise wide receiver. I think he could be really good for them in the future, and I don't see Phillip Rivers losing a game to Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars.
So clearly we're all set on the Jaguars. The next game, NFC North matchup, another one. For me, I just don't think this Vikings team is going to be great at first. A young receiver in Justin Jefferson coming in to replace Stephon Diggs. I just don't see production right away. I'm going with the NFC Championship runner-ups from last year, the Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think the Vikings are going to win. The Packers didn't do anything to help Aaron Rodgers. They signed Devin Funchess, who missed like the entire year last year. His wide receiver core is other than Devonta Adams, it's bad. But and I think the Vikings rushing offense, I think they signed Cook to an extension, and they can gash the Packers rushing defense.
Let's actually let's actually talk. You're going with the Vikings first of all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, talking about Dalvin Cook, he said he might hold out. If this team has no Dalvin Cook week 1, there's no competition. You can say there's Kirk Cousins and you can say Adam Thielen. I don't see any competition. Now, one thing I'm going to say for the Packers, you want to talk about the Vikings offense and how they're not helping. The Packers weren't helping Aaron Rodgers. This Packers team didn't get to the NFC Championship last year because of Aaron Rodgers. They got there because their defense was top 5 in the league. It's a very good defense. I don't see Minnesota's offense keeping up with this defense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like Raheem Mostert, he's been on like 6 to 7 different teams. He had like 200 something yards. Great defense, really, really good defense.
Okay, one game. That was one game.
But still.
Okay. One thing you guys are forgetting: who did the Vikings draft in the first round? Justin.
I told you this. Stephon Diggs he needs development. Okay, he's not gonna be in there plug and chug and be like Randy Moss.
Obviously, but I'm saying you're counting him out. You're saying the only weapon that Kirk Cousins has is Adam Thielen.
Now, yeah.
Justin Jefferson out. I think he could be very good for them, and I don't see the Vikings dropping a game to the Packers in week 1.
You know what? I'm going to agree to disagree because I don't think it's worth my time to argue that I believe in this Packers team and that this Vikings team might suck with no Kevin Stefanski. I don't even know who their offensive coordinator is now, but he's not Kevin Stefanski. So let's move on to the Eagles and Redskins in the Capitol. For me, it's really easy. Carson Wentz, Jalen Reagor, obviously not the best pick in the draft that they could have gotten, but solid one nevertheless. I think this Eagles team is very strong. Redskins added Chase Young. I'm not going to give their team that much of a boost just because of Chase Young, but I think it's really easy to go with the Eagles in this one.
I'm going to have to agree. Eagles, they're returning basically like their entire team, and you have to remember that Carson Wentz was playing with like a group of high school players as his wide receivers last year. I think one of their I can't even remember their name, and they added Reagor. I think Alshon Jeffrey is gonna have a big bounce back here. They obviously have Ertz, and their Wentz and the Eagles offense is just gonna be too much for the Redskins to handle.
I'm going with the Eagles on this one. I do not see him losing to the Redskins. I mean, in the case that Wentz gets hurt again in week 1, they still have Jalen Hurts, who was a pretty good QB in college. So they have backups now, and I think that they're ready to show them why they're Super Bowl champs a couple years ago.
I think it's very obvious that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC North. Actually, no, sorry. The NFC East right now. I'm going to make that claim. Cowboys are there, but I just don't think they can compete yet. Moving on, Chargers, Bengals. Joe Burrow's debut. So for those reasons, I like Joe Burrow a lot. I think he's obviously a bit overrated from what they're telling him because he's still very young. I think he can be great, so I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. And this is my upset of the week just because I don't think people think the Chargers. I think with all the moves the Chargers made, they're considered a strong team. Their quarterback situation is a little broken, but it's my upset of the week because Joe Burrow's first game, he's going to win it, and he might blow them out.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. The Chargers, they just have too much talent to lose to this Bengals team. Nothing against the Bengals offense. I think that they have that offense is good. Burrow, Green, Boyd, Mixon, but the Bengals defense is not good. They're paying Trey Waynes like what, $15 million or something like that. They just don't have enough talent to keep up with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Tyrod, I think Tyrod Taylor's gonna have a really good game. He's gonna have maybe 300 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, 2 touchdowns rushing. I think the Chargers absolutely roast the Bengals defense.
You want to go with bold predictions? I'm gonna actually say one for this game also. Joe Burrow, he's gonna throw for, let's say, 350 yards or more, and 4 touchdowns or more. And I think this is a good game, good matchup. Could go to overtime. I would be very entertained by that. This might be the most underrated game in the afternoon window. I would definitely watch this game if it was available in my area.
That is bold because remember the Chargers, their defense is pretty good. They added Kenneth, their biggest weakness, linebacker, and they have Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. Their defensive line is good. They added Chris Harris Jr. They have one of the best secondaries in the league. You're telling me a rookie QB with a short training camp is going to throw for 350 yards and 4+ touchdowns against that D? I mean, come on, the matchup is not favorable at all.
I'm gonna have to kind of limit that, but I still got the Bengals in this one. I think that Joe Burrow will be good, but I don't think he's going to be as good as you're saying. Obviously, now he has the weapons. He has AJ Green. He has Tyler Boyd. He has T. Higgins. He has Joe Mixon, and I think this team is kind of like a sleeper team in this league. I mean, they turned their offseason so hard. I think that this team is something that could be great in the future, depending on if these players break out like how we want them to, how they did in college. And I think that this is my pick, the Bengals over the Chargers.
So 2 for the Bengals, 1 for the Chargers. Moving on to a very weird division game, I would say. And I say weird because we're going to see very different quarterback situations for both these teams. So for me, I don't care if Tom Brady left. I'm going with Jarrett Stidham and the Patriots. It's hard to go against the Patriots defense in this one.
I got the Dolphins in this one. I think that's my upset of the week. Actually, I think this is my bold prediction. Tua comes in the second half and he leads the Dolphins to comeback win. Stidham hasn't he hasn't played like a real NFL game yet. I think he came in
Okay, wait. 1 second.
Jets.
Really quickly. Tua comes in the second half. Who's starting?
I think Tua starting from
Fitzpatrick. I think that I think the Dolphins are gonna play hesitant. They don't want to. I think they're gonna in training camp. Fitzpatrick's gonna be taking like the first team snaps. Until he'll have a great training camp in Fitzpatrick.
Can I just say one thing about this? Tua's left-handed, and I think you can't. I think bring him in the halftime means you have to flip your whole playbook, which is not going to work out well. Receivers are going to be confused. So by your logic, where Tua comes in the second half, I just don't think that would end well. I don't think they can come back because I think that would just destroy their scheme. They have to flip everything. Wide receivers have to move around. It's very confusing to bring in a left-handed quarterback when a right-handed quarterback started the game. So I don't like the Dolphins in this one if Tua comes in, especially if Tua comes in.
I mean, I have something else to add. I mean, Jarrett Stidham, he came in last year against like the Jets, I think, and then he threw a pick six. They're winning like the game by a lot. He threw a pick six, and then Brady came back in. I mean, is Belichick really that good? Is he gonna make Stidham look like Patrick Mahomes? I do not.
Not Belichick, Josh McDaniels.
Okay.
I mean, remember when he went to the Broncos? Like that team was pretty bad that year. Like
AJ.
Yeah.
You know, Tua, his number one weapon, Devontae Parker. I mean, you can't count this man out. I mean, he had over 1,000 yards with a garbage QB. I mean, someone who we didn't even know his name last year. Obviously, they had Josh Rosen. They had like a bunch of different QB situations. And I think Devontae Parker with Tua Tagovailoa is going to be a deadly duo in the league for years to come.
This is ridiculous that you're mentioning one wide receiver and saying this is going to win games. How?
Okay. Fine. You want me
to answer this
question? Wait. They got 2 running backs who are arguably number 1 running backs. Matt Breida, who was on the 49ers. Jordan Howard from the Eagles. And both of them had Jordan Howard from the Eagles, previously Bears.
Mr. 2 yards per carry. Okay.
He had over 1,000 yards on the Bears, and last season he got outshadowed by the running back.
Which Bears team was this again?
The 12-4 Bears team.
The 12-4 Bears team with what defense exactly? Exactly. You can have a run game with a defense. This team does not have a defense, therefore there is no run game. It's simple as that.
Yeah, but like the Patriots.
I mean, they added Byron Jones. They added Xavier
exactly.
Kyle Van Noy.
Okay, no.
Christian Wilkins is also still on the team from the draft 2 years ago.
Christian Wilkins, bust. Okay, I think he's a defensive lineman. If defensive linemen don't develop in the first 3 years, they're busts. It's simple as that. Cleveland Farrell in Oakland, bust. Okay, they need to develop. This Dolphins team is young. I agree with that. They can be very good right in the future, but not right now. Experienced Patriots defense. Who cares who their quarterback is? Tom Brady barely had to do anything last season because he had no wide receivers. If they can figure out how to run the ball and they can play good defense, this is the Patriots team that we're going to see over and over again in the playoffs next few seasons.
I'm skeptical about that. Like, you do have a good point about the defense. The defense is returning the defensive player of the year, but their offense
You know what?
is.
No, forget this. This is useless for me to argue. You guys clearly don't know who Stephon Gilmore is. In fact, you guys want to talk about Tom Brady.
Right,
Tom Brady
cornerbacks
left.
win you games.
Let's go on to
right?
Tom Brady. Let's go on to Tom Brady's new team, the Bucs and the Saints. And I'm telling you right now, I love Tom Brady. I think he's a good quarterback. I think it's perfect for him in Tampa Bay. He has Gronk back. He's got O.J. Howard. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. Running back is a little bit of a question mark. This offense is very, very powerful. And they have young defenders like Devin White. I'm not going to go against this Bucs team in this one. And this is my game of the week for that reason. This game should be Sunday Night Football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But obviously, week 1, we don't know. The Bucs is still like a question mark. Just got Tom Brady. But I guess this is my game of the week.
I'm going to agree with you. This is the game of the week, but I'm going to disagree with the prediction. I hate Tom Brady. Tom Brady sucks. He's not going to be good.
Tom Brady sucks. Okay, let's think about Tom Brady. How many rings?
Okay. No. There's this article that came out last week. I think if Manning went to the Patriots and Brady went to the Colts.
Say your source.
0.
Say your source.
Okay, hold up, just a minute.
Okay.
No,
while he's finding a source, I'm gonna give my prediction. This is my game of the week, and I'm agreeing with Sujal here. You cannot sit here and tell me Tom Brady is gonna suddenly become young Tom Brady once again. I mean, you look
He doesn't need to be.
Okay, wait. He doesn't need to. Okay, fine. But you're looking. Let me give you an analogy for what happened. What is the exact same analogy for what is happening in the NFL? Michael Jordan to the Wizards. 40-year-old who thought he could run with the young dogs.
Michael Jordan came back after 5 seasons retired. You're telling me Tom Brady hasn't played football in 5 years? Give me a break. I get that majority is for the Saints, but it's ridiculous to argue that because Tom Brady.
I'm not saying he's gonna be.
Brady was washed up last year.
You're saying exactly that. You're saying that Michael Jordan, when going to the Wizards, is the same as Tom Brady going to the Bucs, and that is absolutely not true. That is blasphemous. That is ridiculous to claim.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady
last year was terrible. Yeah, sure, the weapons got better, but without an offensive line, he won't do anything. And like they added Christian Wirfs, the rest of the offensive line is mediocre.
Ali Marpet?
Who?
About him?
Exactly. Like he doesn't. He's not Quentin Nelson. He's not Zach Martin. Like who cares? He's irrelevant. Matters. Their offensive line is average.
Running.
All right, and the Saints and remember the Saints defense isn't exactly like it's not like Dolphins week 1 defense last year when they gave up 59 points to the Ravens. The Saints defense
you guys clearly hate veteran players moving teams. So let's move on to another team, the Cardinals and the 49ers. DeAndre Hopkins addition. I do not believe this 49ers team is in the same shape as they were last year, but they're definitely close. So I'm not going to go against the defending NFC champions. I'm going with the 49ers.
I'm going with the Cardinals here. I think the Niners had 2 big losses to DeForest Buckner. Obviously, they replaced him with Javon Kinlaw, but is Javon Kinlaw going to have the same impact as DeForest? No one knows.
I think so.
Sanders, and they replaced him with Brandon Ayuk. Is he going to have the same impact? I don't know. So, basically, the Niners' entire season is going to be defined on how those 2 rookies play. Because if
not really. No. Actually, I disagree. No, we saw them in the playoffs. Who was their primary offensive weapon?
Mostert.
Kittle.
Raheem Mostert. No. Oh, actually, no. Actually, that's a good point. I completely forgot about George Kittle. You're going to go against George Kittle? Who's guarding George Kittle on the Cardinals?
Isaiah Simmons.
Okay, who's guarding Raheem Mostert? Who's going to tackle
Raheem Mostert? There's a reason he was on 6 teams. I mean, come on.
There's a reason he was on 6 teams because he found his scheme now. He's ready.
Okay, so basically, one thing, the Niners' entire offense is because of Kyle Shanahan, all right? Garoppolo is nothing without Kyle Shanahan. Mostert's nothing without Kyle Shanahan. We can that's
I agree, but The same logic. He's there still. Why would there be a difference? They're gonna run it back.
Because they lost Sanders, they lost their veteran presence, and
Okay, I'm gonna
Garoppolo's
actually do this. Let me do a hot take. Defending NFC champions, they're gonna repeat this year. I don't see any NFC team.
No way.
will contend with
No way.
I see
No
no
way.
NFC team. I don't see the Cardinals competing with the 49ers. I don't see the Seahawks competing with the 49ers. I do not see the Rams. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I see the Rams competing with the 49ers, but the 49ers have the little edge.
What? The Seahawks and the
No.
Cardinals? Hold up. That does
Absolutely
not
not.
make
The
any
Seahawks
Absolutely
and
not.
Cardinals are
Absolutely
closer
not.
than
Russell
that.
Wilson, Kyler Murray, and DeAndre Hopkins. If you compare that with the Niners team,
Okay,
Jared
no.
Goff and who?
What does
on that
Anish want to say? Anish, who do you pick?
I picked the Cardinals.
You
I'm
also pick the
sorry,
Cardinals.
This is my upset of the week.
Wow.
I got the Cardinals over the 49ers. And
Thank you, bro.
Let me tell you this. Let me
You
tell you
guys
this.
are crazy.
Obviously, the 49ers have an amazing defense, but you cannot bet against Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins.
I absolutely hate this debate, and I absolutely hate the fact that the majority is the Cardinals, and in our consensus standings, we're going to have the Cardinals as the division winners right now. I hate that, but because of this...
No, bro, that's just how it is. I mean,
No,
okay,
that's
answer
not...
this question. Is Jimmy Garoppolo a franchise QB, or is he not?
Yes.
Okay. He is?
What?
Yes.
Dude.
Really? Come on.
Yes.
Dude, this guy threw the ball. What makes you think he's a franchise QB? Have you seen this, that fourth quarter?
Okay,
NBC?
No.
He had
franchise QB,
the worst
franchise
fourth
QB.
quarter.
I do not care. I do not care what happened in that Super Bowl. It was in the past. Clearly, this is a different team. We don't have the same
Different
defense.
team? What do you mean?
I do not care what you want to say.
If anything's different, they have a bunch of unprovens.
I do not care.
Sanders and they added IU.
I'm not going against Kyle Shanahan. I'm not going against Kyle Shanahan. It's simple as that. So let's go on to the next NFC West team.
Wait, AJ, let me add one more thing.
Okay. Let's hear
We're
this.
forgetting Larry Legend is on this team.
Oh my God.
Larry Legend.
And Christian.
You're telling me a 37-year-old wide receiver.
Okay. 37-year-old doesn't matter. You're saying Brady was also going to play well.
Exactly.
Wide receiver versus quarterback? Brett Favre?
But,
okay, fine. If you're gonna look at the past season, what's Larry Fitzgerald
had 1,000 yards.
Okay, let me say something. The equivalent.
He's a rookie.
How old is Tom Brady? 43? Can we say 43, 44? We'll say 43. The equivalent of a 43-year-old quarterback in the NFL. I'm gonna subtract 8 years. 35-year-old wide receiver. That is the equivalent.
There's a reason Larry Fitzgerald had 804 receiving yards. That's really good for 37-year-old.
Okay, but who was their other wide receiver? They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. The reason this just shows me everything. The DeAndre Hopkins trade shows me that this is not Larry Legend's team anymore. I love Larry Legend. I watched his 2008 playoff highlights, and I watched in awe at how he did that. I watched him against the Packers. That little shovel pass from Carson Palmer. Or not shovel pass. Crossfield pass. It was amazing, but this is not Larry Fitzgerald's team. This is DeAndre Hopkins' team now. So let's move on to the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's the best receiver in the NFL, by the way.
No. Actually, no.
By the way, he is the best receiver in the NFL.
Okay, no. Actually, I think the best receiver in the NFL this season could be Amari Cooper. So I'm going to go
No
Cowboys
way.
And Rams game.
No
And speaking of the Cowboys and Rams, I know I said Amari Cooper is good, but I'm not going to go against Jared Goff. I think this offense is definitely new with no Todd Gurley. They're going to have Cam Akers. I think he's going to be amazing for them. I'm not going to go against the Rams. I really like this team this season, and I think they are contenders.
I'm going with the Cowboys here. They just have too much star talent compared to the Rams. Obviously, that's every single year. They don't produce in the playoffs, but the Cowboys are the definition of a regular season team. They always do good in the regular season.
I'll give you that. They are definitely a horrible playoff team. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, I don't think Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott will be around.
So you're telling me you think Jimmy Garoppolo is a franchise QB, but Dak Prescott is not a franchise QB?
Absolutely. I'm saying that.
Oh my God, no way.
I'm saying that
no way.
Okay.
Did Dak Prescott never took this team to the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, you think Jimmy Garoppolo did? He threw 8 times in the NFC Championship game. Okay.
That's in the NFC Championship game. I'm saying who took them there. Do you think this
Garoppolo didn't take him in? He just won one game. He won.
I agree. He's a bit off sometimes. I can totally agree with that. But I think it's unfair to say that his role as a game manager excuses him from being a franchise quarterback. That is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Prescott is not a game manager. He's way more than a game manager.
He sucks. I hate that.
AJ, I'm going Cowboys on this one. I'm running with Suj on this one. Only because as Sujal said, this is a more well-rounded team than the LA Rams. I mean, they lost Brandon Cooks to the Texans. I mean, now you have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper on a team that could be led by Andy Dalton or Dak Prescott, depending on if Dak Prescott does not get the money he wants and holds out like an idiot. And their defense as well. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, Gerald McCoy, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, Clinton Dix, Xavier Woods. This team goes down the list. You can see their talent. I mean, no one's obviously the Cowboys say they're going to the Super Bowl every year, but I think this team has a chance to really prove people wrong. And I think that the LA Rams don't have that much star power to compete with this team. I mean, obviously you have Aaron Donald on their defense, but is that
Prescott
enough?
is not a franchise QB. Goff is definitely not a franchise QB. So like
who? Goff?
If Prescott is not a
QB, I agree to disagree.
Goff is not
disagree. I think Super Bowl, taking a team as a Super Bowl is.
He had Todd Gurley that year. Remember, he had Sean McVay.
That I can actually, I'll agree with you.
Getting carried by Kyle Shanahan.
But
Goff got carried McVay that year.
You know, I think we can argue about Super Bowl QBs. Let's move on to one of the, in my opinion, one of the best quarterbacks in the past decade, Ben Roethlisberger. For me, easy Steelers.
Agree Steelers. Giants don't have anyone in the Steelers. The defense.
Wait, come here. Wait, hold up. Justin, Deebo Samuel broke his foot just now.
Just now?
What?
Just now, he broke his foot.
Really? There goes the Niners season.
It has been reported by Bleacher Report that Deebo Samuel has a broken foot.
There goes the Niners season.
That's season ending. Is that a season-ending injury?
No, but he's still going to be out for like the first few.
He's expected to return early in the season, so he could be gone for the first few weeks. So this just proves further that I think the Cardinals and Sujal thinks the Cardinals are going to win, and I'm sure AJ's rethinking it right now.
I'm not. You know what, Justin, also? Seahawks. Josh Gordon is applying for reinstatement, so the Seahawks might get back Josh Gordon, and in that case, I would change my pick. So I'm not going to go back on it now because I don't know if it's for sure. But if Josh Gordon does come back for the Seahawks, I'm definitely going to go with the Seahawks. But let's keep going with this game. Anish, what do you think?
I'm going Steelers. I mean, obviously, last year they didn't live up because of Big Ben's injury. But, I mean, when you have Big Ben, you have Juju, you have James Conner. I mean, this team is amazing. I mean, you can't really count them out anytime. Big Ben is one of the best QBs in the league, and they are one of the teams to watch in this league, and that's my pick.
Okay, I think this is a game where I'm all sold on Steelers. Saquon Barkley could take a leap in year 3, but I think we're all sold on the Steelers in this one. So let's move on to the second Monday night game. Titans and Broncos. Jurrell Casey's revenge game. This Broncos team is very, very, very different. I'm not going to go into details. We know what happened with this team. It's very easy for me to say the Broncos, and this is my team to watch because this is going to be a team which can contend with the Chiefs and possibly get that number 1 seed in the AFC. And the reason
let's slow down with the hype here, okay?
No. I'm going to say that because
Chiefs,
I think this Broncos team are 2 wins away from the number 1 seed. And the reason I say that is I think the AFC West is definitely the best division in the AFC right now. Can we agree on that?
No, the AFC North is better.
No, okay, fine. With Ravens.
Ravens.
I'm gonna say let me change this a little bit. The AFC West in the past, let's say 10 seasons, has been consistently dominated has been sending teams to the Super Bowl and AFC Championship game. this is a team which I think is 2 wins away. And when I say 2 wins, 2 games against the Kansas City Chiefs. If they beat them twice, that's their road to the Super Bowl. That's my opinion. That's obviously later in the season. Right now, we're focusing on the Titans. I think this defense can stop Derrick Henry, especially in the thin air at Mile High. His production will be much less. It's easy for me to go with the Broncos in this one.
I'm also going with the Broncos. The Titans. I don't know why people think the Titans are going to do so good. They lost Jack Conklin. He's like a really good offensive tackle, and he was instrumental in helping Derrick Henry be who he is. Obviously, they did draft Isaiah Wilson, and they have Dennis Kelly who could slide over a right tackle, but Conklin is like a proven. He's a proven right tackle, and I think that loss will be it'll be felt. But a bigger loss than that was Jurrell Casey, and I think that was like the DeAndre Hopkins trade gets like all the attention. Oh yeah, what a terrible trade for the Texans. But can we agree this was such a terrible trade for the Titans? They traded
worst trade of the offseason.
for
Actually, no, best trade for the Broncos,
exactly.
But worst trade.
Exactly, yeah. One of the worst. Actually, the DeAndre Hopkins trade is the worst trade, but this it's actually stupid trading this Pro Bowler. Okay, and it's not like he's like 40 or 37 or something like that. You traded him for a 7th round pick. That's a loss, and I'm going with the Broncos here.
I'm going with the Tennessee Titans, baby. I think that there's 2 words to describe this team: King Henry. And I mean, Derrick Henry, no one can stop this man. I think he's a train wreck. I mean, he's a train. And I think
have you seen the Broncos defensive line, by the way? Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Jurrell Casey. Yeah, it seems.
Wait, no one's disrespecting the Broncos. They're a great team, but they're not the Titans. I mean, the Titans made it.
Wait, no.
The AFC Championship. Wait, no, not AFC Championship. AFC Semi-Championship. Quarter. Oh my God, the one before the championship. And so. Whoa. And then you're thinking, obviously they got 3 potentially wide receiver ones for this team: Jerry Jeudy, DJ Hamler,
yes,
and Courtland Sutton. But are they gonna flow and merge in a way that helps the Broncos?
Yes. When Drew Lock is throwing to them, right now, he's throwing to them every day. I think yes. I don't see how you can argue with that. That's a really bad argument considering.
But right now,
so wait, first majority is obviously Broncos.
That's a great one.
From right now, what we can see is Titans versus Broncos without any news from what we can see right now in
no.
Okay.
That's not what you see. Okay, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I think the Titans might be as good as they were last season, but in the regular season,
they beat the Patriots for a reason. They
beat the Patriots.
Are a good team. They have Derrick Henry. I do not see him losing to the Broncos in a week where we don't know if it'll play out perfectly on a field.
Who is the Titans' primary weapon?
I'm gonna give you this: the Broncos are one of the teams to watch in this league. They are one of the better teams in this league. They could be better than the Titans, but week 1, I'm gonna give it to the Titans.
Who is the Titans' primary weapon? Who is the Titans' primary weapon? Who is the Titans' primary weapon? Tell me that.
Brown, Derrick Henry.
No. Give me one name. Who carried them?
Derrick Henry.
Henry, exactly.
Now, what happens to running backs at 6,000? In fact, what happens to you if you're 5,000 feet up in the air? What happens to you?
Okay, it's harder to breathe.
It's hard to breathe. Derrick Henry is how big? He's about 250 pounds. Probably not actually. I mean, close. 6'3". He's a big guy. He cannot run in Mile High. We saw him last season struggle in Mile High. He cannot run in Mile High. For those reasons, I think we can agree to disagree. Obviously, Broncos are the majority pick. What do you guys think? Bold predictions time?
1 sec. Let me add on one more thing. My Titans pick is extremely, extremely similar to your Lions pick because obviously the Chicago Bears, they have an uncertainty, and so do the Broncos. I'm not saying the Broncos are a bad team. I'm not saying they're gonna be like how they were last season. I'm saying they have potential. It'll take time. It'll take maybe 3 to 4 weeks for them to really get into their full form. And I see them going to the playoffs. I'm not saying, and I see him having a better record than the Titans, but week 1, in this week, I see him beating the Broncos just because it'll take time for Locke to really understand how to work with these wide receivers in these defenses. And I think that's why I got the Titans in this week.
I'm gonna quickly do my bold predictions for the week. First one, Joe Burrow throwing for 350 plus yards and 4 touchdowns against the Chargers. I know this Chargers secondary is very, very good, but I think Joe Burrow will find a way with his weapons like T. Higgins and AJ Green and Tyler Boyd, and they will get this done. And my other one being that this week, obviously we see a lot of matchups, as Anish said. It's week 1, like with the Titans and Broncos. It's week 1. We have to look at these teams. I'm going to say there's 3 plus overtime games, and one of those I'm going to lock in as the Bengals and Chargers game.
So my bold predictions, as I said before, I think Tyrod Taylor, he has an unexpected great game, 300 yards, passing 2 touchdowns, rushing. The Chargers offense will roast on that Bengals D. That Bengals D really does not have that much proven or like veteran talent or like actual all pro caliber talent. I mean, yeah, sure they have DJ Reader, but like I don't think he's gonna carry that defense line or anything like that. And my second one, as I said before, I think Tua comes in the second half and leads a comeback to win the game.
The one which is blasphemous, but okay.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but I will say that the Chargers are an interesting team. They're running between 3 wide receivers. 3 quarterbacks. They have Tyrod Taylor, Justin Herbert, and then the head coach recently put out rumors that they're going after Kaepernick. So I don't know who's the number 1 quarterback on that team right now, who they're going to start in week 1. But if your prediction is Tyrod Taylor, I'm all for it. I think he can be their hope and savior. And speaking of hope and savior, I got Jason Stidham starting and proving people wrong, throwing
Jason Stidham.
Yeah, throwing 300 touchdowns.
Jason?
Who's Jason Stidham?
Garrett.
I've never heard of him.
Isn't that the actor? Like, yeah.
Jason Momoa. Okay.
No, Jason Stidham, the guy that does like all. He's in he's a bad guy in Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
So I got Jared Stidham. He will start. He will prove people wrong and have an amazing game. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and showing, three or more touchdowns, 300 or more yards, and showing he can be the next Patriots franchise QB. It's as simple as that. And I think this one's gonna make you guys really, really mad. But I got the Titans beating the Broncos by 21 or more points.
No,
that's
Titans are overrated.
Oh wait, guys! Interesting news that just came in. It looks like Joel Embiid got his driver's license. Nice. Congratulations, Joel Embiid. But I think we've done our bold predictions. It's pretty bold for Embiid to get his driver's license so late. But let's move on to our consensus standings. We use our majority picks and we show the conference standings. So moving on, here it is. It's time for the review. There are AFC and NFC standings. Playoff teams are in purple. A few intriguing matchups right now, or a few left out teams, which I noticed right away. Titans and Texans, both left out. The Niners and Packers, both left out. Right now, we see the Vikings and Ravens at the top of their respective conferences. And I think if I'm looking at this right now, the best playoff matchup I see is that Cowboys and Saints game. 5-4. That's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, these standings. Well, actually, no. Let me put that question out there. Do you guys think these 7 teams in each conference could be in the playoffs in whatever order they're not the order that they're in, but like these 7 teams?
I do not.
So I'm gonna say like Sujal, tell me one AFC team that you would swap. Maybe the Steelers and the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with that. What about your NFC team that you would swap?
Swap. I do like the Niners and the Bears, or the Niners, Packers, Buccaneers. There's so many teams that I would potentially swap.
Yeah, there's so Anish, what about you? Let's start in the AFC.
AFC, I'm switching, as Sujal said, I'm switching the Bengals for the Texans.
So no one wants to switch. Here's what I would do actually. I don't know if you see the number 2 seed right now in the AFC, Dolphins. I'm gonna swap them for
Titans.
bold. I'm gonna swap them for the. I'm gonna swap them for the Chargers. I think the AFC West sends 3 teams to the playoffs. I think this Chargers team can easily be a 7 seed. Obviously the Chiefs will probably be 1 and 2 with the Ravens, but definitely Chargers could slide in there.
For my NFC swap, I'm going defending NFC champion 49ers, and I'm swapping them with the Cardinals.
Oh, so you agree that the Niners. Actually, no, I want to do a similar swap. I like the Vikings. I like the Eagles. I like the Saints. I like the Cowboys. I'm gonna swap. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep the Bears. I'm gonna swap the Seahawks for the Detroit Lions.
Whoa.
I'm gonna swap Detroit and Seattle, and I'm gonna do that just because I like Stafford a lot.
Me too. I gotta agree with that one. Stafford is
actually wait. Okay. One other thing. You know what? Let's swap.
Why Seattle?
I'm gonna swap Seattle for Tampa Bay, and then I'm gonna swap Arizona for Detroit because I think Tampa Bay is going to be like a 10-6 team, and I think Seattle. The problem is, I do think the Cardinals might finish better than that, and like I said before, a team can send 4 teams to the playoffs. A division can send 4 teams to the playoffs, but it's not that feasible. So I'm going to keep 2 NFC West teams in the playoffs, the 49ers and the Cardinals, and I don't think the Seahawks would make it in that case. But I think the Buccaneers and the Lions are definitely a team I'm not going to sleep on this season.
Interesting.
In fact, one scenario I actually want to see is when the Rams and Seahawks play, I think whoever wins that game, if they can beat the Cardinals twice, they're going to be the NFC West champions. Not runner-up. They'll be the champions of the division. I think the 49ers might take a step back, and I do think that paves the way for either the Rams or the Seahawks.
That's going to do it for week 1, guys. Stay tuned for week 2 when we meet up again and update the standings as well as our predictions for week 2. We hope you enjoyed and come back next time.